We're on Vancouver Island with Subaru driving the all-new Forester.
New look. Do you like it? Full throttle on the highway.
Yeah. Not bad. Sufficient power.
All right, let's get into it. What is under the hood of this 2025 Forester?
A 2.5-liter four-cylinder matched to a CVT. It has 180 horsepower and 178 pound-feet of torque compared to the previous model that's 2 less horsepower, but you gain 2 extra pound-feet of torque. Standard all-wheel drive.
This is not the hybrid. It has been announced. Yes, they're going to have a hybrid. That'll be coming in about a year from now. Actually, it's coming up in our hot topic, so make sure you stick around for that. Right now, all new model. What do you get? What are the key standard features?
The base trim comes with a 4.2-inch multi-information display, a 7-inch touchscreen, wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, a 4-speaker audio system, 6-way manual driver's seat, 4-way manual passenger seat, heated front seats, cloth upholstery, EyeSight version 4 with wide-angle mono camera. In the US, heated front seats are not standard.
Well, we're on Vancouver Island, but things don't change around here. What are we going to put it in, Andrea?
You got to put it in S for subscribe, and if you can hit that notification bell, you'll be notified when all of our reviews drop, and then you can watch them.
And we do this, the couple car review, twice a week. The first one drops on Wednesday.
We put another one out on Saturday.
So make sure to like and subscribe, but also follow along on Instagram. It's Motormouth_Andrea to see what's going on behind the scenes and to get a question in. For me, it's Motormouth_Auto, and the links are below the like button. So they're calling this an all-new Forester, the next generation. It is kind of a carried over drivetrain, but all new on the outside with a whole bunch of features. Then some minor tweaks. Are you enjoying the tweaks over there?
I am enjoying the tweaks. The power is better in this model. I know on paper it doesn't really get much more, but you can tell the difference. It's just been tuned differently. There's improvements to the transmission.
I think that's the secret sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels more refined. Noise, vibration, and harshness is much better. Cabin is quieter. I just feel like it really eats up those bumps in the road.
All right, so let's dissect. So the platform is carried forward, but they have done modifications. So the front suspension has been redone. They've got a new subframe they've put in there. The geometry is slightly changed. If you get the sport model, they have different dampers on that one.
Yeah.
And then the CVT has a wider range of available ratios now, and that's that instant get you away from a stop sign kind of thing. It's quite satisfying, and it has the mocked shifts.
Yeah.
And most people wouldn't even know it is a CVT.
No, and that's it. This engine matched to a CVT is quite quiet. Of course, when you accelerate on the highway, you're going to hear the engine. But when you're just going at, kind of like this, regular speeds, staying within the speed limit, the cabin is quiet. Torsional rigidity on this model has been improved by 10%. And this model has a modified version of the WRX steering rack. And you can tell that it is more responsive, a little bit more precise than the previous model.
So what they've done, and this is kind of a Subaru trait, is they don't blow everything up. They take what they've got and they make it better. And you can just tell they've been polishing this and making it shinier. We'll get to the styling on the outside in a moment. But yeah, modified of what they already had, which was good. Now it's just all better.
There's been improvements to the all-wheel drive system, making the response time a little bit faster, traction better on different road conditions. The EyeSight technology, you've got the latest version, EyeSight 4. Hill descent control in X mode comes standard, available dual function X mode.
Okay, so EyeSight's a big selling feature for Subaru. They're known for their safety.
Yeah.
So they've had the stereo cameras. Stereo means 2, and they've added a third one. Now it's called a mono camera. So these 2 look down the road, and that's a lot of the safety. But this single camera has a very wide angle, so it captures people on the side, pedestrians, bicycles, and oncoming traffic.
Yeah.
Now, we were at the LA Auto Show when they unveiled this last November, and a lot of people just jumped all over this thing saying, oh, it looks terrible. Listen, I don't know if you know this, but the existing Forester isn't the prettiest girl at the dance.
No.
I think this is an improvement, honestly. They've got a lot of little tricks they've done to make it look sleeker, but it still has the best feature about this vehicle, the big glass.
For sure, you still have that greenhouse effect that everybody wants from Forester, so they have kept that. got big windows, big doors. Getting in and out of the vehicle is so easy. If you have any mobility issues or back problems, I think it looks good. It's better than the previous model, but looks are subjective, so you decide. I don't really think anybody's buying Subaru models for their beauty.
No.
They're looking at safety.
It's functional.
Exactly.
And so the feedback is it has a bit of maybe a CRV vibe,
Yep.
and it also has a bit of Ford in the grille. And they've done this where they've widened the aesthetic of the car with a wider grille, and same with the elements around the back, and just to give it a more square look, but still have the ruggedness that people expect from Forester. It's all these little tricks they've done. And one is that they've made the windows by the A-pillar here a little bit lower. You actually have better visibility than the last model.
The Forester has 8.7 inches of ground clearance and comes standard with LED steering responsive headlamps, LED tail lamps, raised roof rails, 17, 18, and 19-inch wheels, and a temporary spare tire. Available features include LED fog lamps, the all-new low-profile roof rails for a sleeker style that you see on our test model, and the sport model has bronze accents and bronze wheels.
And 19-inch wheels are new for this model. Bigger wheels, we're riding on those right now, and ride comfort, not an issue. Okay, so Andrea, they've gone with a lot of textures on the inside of this. You can see it on the dash pad, you see it at the bottom of the doors, even in the trunk area, they've got all these textures. I think maybe for me personally, it's a little busy.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
No, I don't think it's too busy because it's really only on the dash here. The other one has some ultra suede on the side. I'm actually really impressed with the quality of materials that are in this top trim. I know it's the top trim, but boy, there really are a lot of soft touch. And it depends on the trim that you get. It has different stitching and different accents in here, like the sport model gets all the bronze accents. But I like that they've done that because each model is a little bit unique in its own way.
Okay, so they did admit that if you get this top trim, it now comes with ventilated seats, which is a big deal. A lot of people want ventilated seats, but because of that, they are a little bit firmer. So if you're kind of concerned about that, try maybe one trim down and see if you want these.
Storage is sufficient in here. I find the door pockets to be a little bit narrow. Storage at the center console is pretty good, but there is some piano black in here around the center console, on the doors, as well as near the traditional shifter.
It's not bad though, Andrea.
No, not bad.
Sometimes they're like, yes, I know it's an addiction. We'd say they've all got to break this addiction, but it's not as bad as others. That's a good thing.
And do you know what I like, Zach?
What do you like?
Traditional shifter in here. Hello, love it. Now this comes standard with cloth upholstery, available premium cloth on the sport model. You get an all-weather soft touch material. Leather is also available, and on this top trim it's an ultra suede and leather combo. The top trim is the only one that gets that brown interior. So all the other models, you're getting black.
Yeah, black, that's it.
That's it. And of course, we've got the available 11.6-inch touchscreen with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto in this model.
And they all get it except for the base model. Available features include a wireless charger, navigation, a 360-degree camera, power front seats, driver's seat memory, ventilated front seats, a heated steering wheel, heated rear seats, 11-speaker Harman Kardon sound system, and a panoramic sunroof. Here's me getting in the back seat. The doors are big, easy to get into. There is plenty, like a lot of legroom, good headroom. It's really quite comfortable.
Comparing the Forester to the Nissan Rogue, the Forester offers 43.3 inches of front row legroom, which is almost 2 inches more than the Rogue. Second row legroom at 39.4 inches is almost an inch more than the Nissan.
And then you lift the power lift gate on this model and you have a big square opening. That's another selling feature of Forester. Underneath the cargo mat and below the storage container, there is a temporary spare tire.
Cargo space behind the second row at 29.6 cubic feet falls a little short to the Rogue, and overall cargo space at 74.4 cubic feet of space is about the same as the Rogue.
Oh, look, Andrea. Tim Hortons.
Look what we found.
Switching it up.
Time now for questions, coffee, and cars.
Your questions from Instagram.
Really looking forward to your review of this one. Wondering, as I'm sure many others are too, How do you feel it compares to the Outback? It's a good question, because we get asked this actually quite a bit. Why pick the Forester versus the Outback? Why don't
It's
you go
basically
first?
form function. This is a sort of classic compact crossover shape, more upright, the bigger windows, the square hatch at the back. And if you're not aware, the Outback is based on the old legacy platform. So it really started as a station wagon. The big difference for me, Andrea, if to get maybe the Outback over this, is that's available still with the turbo engine. They got rid of the turbo engine in this, so if you want more power, you want more cowbell, you get the Outback.
Yeah, and I think that's why many choose the Outback. But I did ask Subaru, because this is a question about the turbo engine in the Outback and why doesn't the Forester get it? Comes up a lot with our viewers and followers on Instagram. So I asked them, what is the split in Canada for the Outback, turbo versus non-turbo? And they said it's about 50-50. And the Forester used to have a turbocharged engine. I'm sure some of you have that vehicle today. And it did sell well in Canada, but not in the US.
No.
And for Canada, which is a smaller market, to take on that vehicle with the turbo on their own, that is just not going to happen. And I think people choose the Forester because of the SUV look to it. Love your reviews. Thank you. How does this new Forester stack up against the competition?
I would say that it's, okay, so there's always the sort of like, is it the sporty, fun to drive one, or is it really just good, practical, common sense transportation? This falls into the more good, common sense transportation. The form function is second to none. There is no compact SUV, in my opinion, has this form function. Big windows, big doors, easy to use. It's just easy to live with.
And I would say in the non-luxury category, it's really the CX-5 or CX-50 that will give you that engaging drive. The other ones, I feel that are just smoother, comfortable vehicles. What I have to say about Forester, and that Subaru really has come to the table with this model, not only have they improved the performance of the vehicle, but they've added features that the Forester was missing. Things like this larger 11.6-inch
Ventilated front
touchscreen
seats
with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Zach mentioned that. Power liftgate with a kick sensor now, and also the surround view monitor.
The one thing I would say about this, you just buy this and you don't think about it.
Yeah.
It's just gonna do the job. It's gonna do the job, and you're gonna be happy with it. That's really what you're getting.
Versatile, practical, offers great safety.
And now better looking.
And how about the all-wheel drive system too?
That's what I mean. You
right?
just drive it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Love the videos. Thank you. Did they manage to keep the same amount of cargo room for this new model?
So basically, it's the same size as the old one. It's only 15 millimeters longer and 15 millimeters wider, which is nothing. That's just 1.5 centimeters.
Yeah. Less than half an inch, or just over half an inch?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't calculate between metric and imperial. But anyway, in the cargo area, only when the back seats are up, you get a slightly larger cargo area.
So when the seats are up, it's slightly bigger, but really the volume remains the same. This gets 74.4 cubic feet of space, in the previous model up to 74.2. So the same.
Teeny weeny. And now it's time for our hot topic. What's this one, Andrea?
May I please know, when is the Forester hybrid coming? Thanks, and love your show.
So what we know about the hybrid is it's coming in about a year, spring of 2025, it'll be arriving. And they say it's going to be using Toyota technology, but how it's going to be implemented is still a question mark.
Yeah, and it's going to have a Subaru Boxer engine. It's not going to have a Toyota engine. But whether it will have an eCVT or a CVT, these are details we don't know. However, at this event, Subaru Canada did announce to us that a Crosstrek hybrid is coming. When? Well, we don't know.
At a future time.
And I did ask about Outback, because I know you guys are wondering about an Outback hybrid as well. And they really wouldn't say. What did they say, Zach?
We don't talk about future products. And it said, well, you just did. You talked about this coming next year and Crosstrek coming. So that's good anyway.
Exciting things coming from Subaru.
All right, so let's get into the vital stats of this one. What do you need to know about fuel economy and more?
Let's start with pricing. We'll do Canada first and then move on to the US. In Canada, the pricing includes freight, PDI, and fees. The base model starts at just over $36,000, and the top trim is just under $48,000. In the US, the base model is just over $29,500, and the top trim is just under $40,000.
Here's the fuel economy. 9 liters per 100 kilometers city, 7.2 on the highway. That's 26 miles per gallon city, 33 miles per gallon highway. The Forester is rated to tow 1,500 pounds, and the warranty is 3 years, 60,000 kilometers, or 36,000 miles. So the hottest category is compact crossovers. What else can you choose?
For your consideration, 4 vehicles for you to consider.
Up first is the Toyota RAV4 with a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine, 203 horsepower, and a starting price just over $36,000.
The Nissan Rogue with a 1.5-liter turbo 3-cylinder, 201 horsepower, and a starting price of $36,500.
The Honda CR-V has a 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, 190 horsepower, and an all-wheel drive starting price of just over $40,000.
The Hyundai Tucson with a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder, 187 horsepower, and a starting price of just under $37,000.
So there are 4 compact SUVs for you to consider.
Lightning round, 2 things we like, 2 things we like to see improved.
I'm impressed with the updates. I will be recommending this Forester.
I actually think it looks way better.
I'm just waiting for that hybrid powertrain.
I want them to take the turbo from the Outback and make it available again. It was great. So there it is. That's our look at the all-new Subaru Forester. What do you think of that?
Thanks for watching, and if you like what you see, subscribe. We'll see you next time.